Literally no disrespect, but you look like you listen to podcasts.
At least you don't look like someone that creates podcasts.
Hello, podcasters. On today's episode, I'm joined by Armin and special guest Rick Raptor.
Hello. Okay, but the initial thoughts, when I saw it on my own without knowing about any discourse, I just thought, well, I didn't hate it as much as Fallen Kingdom, but it still felt very rushed. And I was more like, I no longer care, I'm indifferent. It's only after I saw comments by other people and then rewatching it for the podcast that I realized, okay, yeah, at least Fallen Kingdom was a movie. This isn't even a movie. The whole trilogy just reminds me so much of how the Star Wars sequels went. Where it's like, oh, the first one is the big nostalgia opening, everybody loves it. Then after a few years, when you think about it, well, there was really nothing original in that first one. The second one does the weird thing where many people are turning on it. And then now the third one, even though Rise of Skywalker was like more nostalgia based than this one, I feel like both still have in common that there's just way too much stuff happening that is super rushed and awful pacing. Dinosaur set piece jumping is the equivalent to planet jumping.
All of the dinosaurs just do something, refuse to elaborate, and leave.
If you just want to see dinosaurs doing action stuff, I guess I would. Fallen Kingdom had more action scenes or like more exciting set pieces. I just realized, you know how in Rise of Skywalker Palpatine's speech was just a Fortnite message and not in the movie itself? The prologue being a YouTube video is the equivalent to that. I appreciate that there are feathered dinosaurs in this. I just hope when this gets negative reviews that Universal doesn't somehow think the feathered dinosaurs are the problem. It's not even about accuracy. It's just preserved visually and creatively. It's so refreshing. And Dominion is like, oh, it's things we've seen before. Because even the part that I would expect to be new, the dinosaurs everywhere, that's mostly off screen. And then it's back to dinosaurs in an enclosed thing. Person wants to use dinosaurs for evil things. Rexy fights another giant theropod, and then another dinosaur helps her kill it. I mean, also you can have the Skrunklesaurus, but you never say its name. And then when it does something important, people don't have the ecstasy after saying, oh, my favorite part was the Skrunklesaurus, because they don't even know what that thing's name was. And in a post-Indominus world, you kind of have to make sure people understand that this is a real dinosaur that existed, and not another hybrid.
I hate the fact that we can say that the past 7 years have been the post-Indominus world.
The creature that gets the kill at the end of the first Jurassic World movie was set up throughout the movie. It showed up in the first act, got its like narration. It showed up in the second act as a reminder, and then at the third act you get the payoff. The killer in this one shows up 1.5 hours into the movie, was never explained, was never name dropped, and then at the end when that's the one, it also just shows up. It's like, oh, this one is also here, and I guess it's
standing there.
It's just standing there. It's maybe blind. It doesn't even know what's in front of it.
It doesn't know what's going on. It's just slightly confused.
Why are my arms suddenly so heavy? This movie is passionless. Because like with the first one, the way the T-Rex is introduced in the fight, and you have the dramatic pause when the Indominus temporarily beats it, and you have sad music. But in this one, it's just the same thing, but worse. Did the T-Rex know what was gonna happen? Like, did it push the Giga on purpose into the spine?
I'd assume no.
That's why I'm comparing this to like Speckles the Pterosaurus, because it feels like a calculated move. What if One Eye and Slash from Dino King Journey to Fire Mountain were the same character? Like an evil Therizinosaur with a blind eye. And then it teams up with a T-Rex against a spiky theropod, but not Pterosaurus, but Giganotosaurus. The Climax is also so uncreative because most of the fight is just like T-Rex versus Indominus, and then the way the Giga gets killed is just like the Indoraptor getting impaled by something. Like they couldn't even come up with a new way to kill it.
Dodge fucking dies in a Hyperloop. Thanks, Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, Ian at one point says Jurassic World's not a fan. That feels like specifically for people like us to be like, see, we acknowledge that this movie is not good, so now you can't criticize it. I'm happy for fans. If you enjoy the film, good for you. Obviously, when this gets negative reviews, the hardcore fans will be like, oh, you should never listen to critics. They just don't understand what makes this movie good. They shouldn't expect like an Oscar-winning movie, you know, like the first Jurassic Park, which won Oscars. Spider-Man No Way Home. Or Top Gun, which is out right now. Those are like movies that have fan service, but still manage to be good movies on their own.
It's weird recording a podcast having, chickened out and seen it earlier than most.
Yeah, right now as we're recording this, I think the Rotten Tomatoes is still positive because it's only like 9 reviews.
Yep.
That's going to
Hey,
plummet.
okay.
I have written down, was Colin Trevorrow never loved by his mother? Because this movie has so many mother figures.
Holy shit, Greg. Jesus Christ.
Let me explain. Let me explain.